Let me know if you could hear me. All right, I think we're good to go. So so this was an interesting day if you are a Marvel fan, because this morning, at least morning for me, I mean morning for West Coast and evening for the rest of the world, but this morning I got onto YouTube and I noticed a strange live stream happening from the Marvel YouTube channel. So I clicked in to see Chris Hemsworth's name on a chair, and just assumed that this had something to do with the Avengers movies coming out. Um, and it did. Avengers Doomsday. Um, this was kind of the cast lineup for Avengers Doomsday. But the way they went about this was very strange. They basically revealed one chair at a time until they got to the end. And I think the stream lasted somewhere around 5 hours, which created a lot of buzz. I don't know if this is the best way to announce the cast by just showing kind of the chairs. But this is a tactic they went to. It created a lot of buzz just because it was such a slow trickle. It gave it so much time to breathe and people to catch up to what was going on. So maybe it's genius in a way, even though it's frustrating to watch. Um, but I still think there are probably was a better way to do this, but it did get a lot of buzz. I think there was like something like 10 million people watching on Twitter or X, watching this stream go down. I checked in intermittently throughout the day just to see if there were any interesting names that popped up, and there were. Some concerning, some I'm excited to see. So we're gonna jump into the whole list of the names right here, and you guys could tell me what you think, because I don't really know what to think. There's a lot of people, I guess, missing from this list. Um, I guess you could say they're missing, but obviously this is going to be a two movie affair, so we'll see what happens. Um, I just want to check in on the stream. We'll see what happens. I really want to really understand what's going on here. Hold on, I'm setting up some fun stuff. Um, we're gonna start trying to do some super chats here, so let's try to get it going. If you're here, let's do some super chats. I'm probably gonna stay on for a little bit just so we could talk about this. So if you're trickling in all that stuff, let me know. Drop a super chat. We'll figure it out. All right, let's start going through this list because it might take us 5 hours to get through it. Not, um, but I'm gonna share my screen. I have comic book movie up. They're I think they're pretty good. They're pretty reliable. I've been looking at their stuff for years. All right, so we're just gonna go through the list. Obviously, Robert Downey Jr. was the last one there. We already knew he was going to be in it. It's literally called Doomsday, and we know he is Doctor Doom. So let's take a look at this list, and we'll talk slowly about who's exciting, who's not. Was there anything shocking on this list? Maybe one or two. Um, but is this the whole? Is this the whole list? I don't know. I think they're still holding out for some surprises. These might be some of the obvious ones, um, but we'll see. The more interesting ones came in at the end, obviously. But we'll go through it. Chris Hemsworth. I'm glad we're seeing him back as Thor. I know he's had a lot of health issues, so it's going to be good to see him as Thor. This might be his last time or the last two times as Thor, just because I don't know where he stands with his health issues, but Thor, this might be the last hurrah. I'd be surprised if they make another Thor movie. Vanessa Kirby, obviously Invisible Woman. We'll see how she is as Invisible Woman in Fantastic Four coming out in July. Anthony Mackie is Captain America, of course. Sebastian Stan is coming as Bucky. No surprises there. Letitia Wright as Black Panther. So I guess they're sticking with that for now. Paul Rudd as Ant-Man. They even gave him kind of a small chair to sit in during the video. 5 hour long video. That was like the one little gag they did, which I appreciated. Ray's here. Hey Ray, what's Ray says, hey, what's good? What's going on? We're just going through the lists of the people gonna be in Doomsday. Um, Wyatt Russell, U.S. agent. Again, a lot of people from Thunderbolts are on this list, which I feel like gives away what happens in Thunderbolts a little bit. Since it seems like all the Thunderbolts are going to be here. I'm not even gonna Tenoch Huerta Maya as Namor. Um, I'm actually kind of surprised. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be surprised, but I don't know. I didn't really care that much about the Namor character. It didn't really strike me. And then Moss Baccarat as the Thing. Of course, all the Fantastic Four are going to be here. Um, this one actually got me excited because I really liked Shang-Chi, um, the movie. So I'm glad we're finally getting him back in something after all this time. It seemed I just don't get what they're doing with Shang-Chi. Um, this is going to be his first time back since his movie, and I think forget which one he appeared in the after credits for. Was it Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness? I know he was in one of those, but um, I actually saw Shang-Chi a couple times in the theater. I think two or three times. So it's cool to see. Florence Pugh, always happy to see that name on any list. Yelena Belanova. She's coming back. Obviously, Thunderbolts too. So she probably survives Thunderbolts. Whatever happens in that movie. Kelsey Grammer is back as Beast. Obviously, that was teased in the Marvels, I believe, after credits scene. Um, so it's cool to see him coming back. Lewis Pullman is the Sentry. I think we already knew that. Yeah. Danny Ramirez, the Falcon. Okay. Um, Joseph Quinn, Human Torch, Fantastic Four, obviously. Um, David Harbour, Red Guardian, more Thunderbolts, Winston Duke, M'Baku. Glad to see his name. Hannah John Kamen as Ghost. Tom Hiddleston as Loki. That's I'm happy to see that because I would have totally understood if the ending of Loki season 2 was the last time we saw Loki, but he's kind of the king of the multiverse right now, so have to have him. But if Loki season 2 was the end of the Loki story, I would have been fine with that. But always happy to see Tom Hiddleston, so it's great to see him there. Patrick Stewart's coming back as Professor X. Obviously, last time we saw him was Multiverse of Madness, and Ian McKellen as Magneto. So they're not done with the Fox people yet. And they continue with a couple more X-Men. Alan Cumming as Nightcrawler. So I this is where I'm having a little bit of an issue. Um, it's nice to do the cameos, especially in Multiverse of Madness. I feel like having these cameos in that would have been great. They were fun in Deadpool, but you're using more cameos in this big like tentpole Avengers movie when you should probably be setting up your new X-Men instead of still bringing back your old guys. Now, again, love to see Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart, don't get me wrong, but I think you should be using this attention to bring in the new guys a little bit because we're still pushing X-Men off a little bit. And I feel like Marvel, unless this really hits, Marvel is kind of losing steam. I think you really got to bring in the X-Men. Because what are you doing? I mean, if Fantastic Four doesn't hit, then we're in trouble. I think. Um, yeah, Ray says, looking at the list, everything is riding on Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. It's true, absolutely true, and we know Fantastic Four hasn't had a good track record. Um, so I don't know, I don't know. Fantastic, they really have to hit with this Fantastic Four. Thunderbolts will probably do solid, maybe better than Captain America, even, which is weird. Um, but I don't know. Fantastic Four really has to hit, or this movie's gonna be a fart. Like I don't know. Like I really hope they get it together. Um, all right, let's keep going. So we have Alan Cumming as Nightcrawler, Rebecca Romaine as Mystique, which is cool. Not and they're not, they're not even bringing like Jennifer Lawrence or anything back. They're going for the OGs. James Marsden as Cyclops, which I hope he gets more to do in this. Obviously, James Marsden as Cyclops is the first time Cyclops in a movie. Um, I just That's cool. It's gonna be cool to see Cyclops in a movie again. One of my favorite X Men. Um, but again, it goes back to my original point: is we need to start getting ready for the new X Men. Are these people gonna be the X Men still? Like, are we gonna have Halle Berry as Storm still? Are we just gonna continue that story in some way? Like this is concerning because I feel like they are gonna just keep these guys even though they're older. Maybe they just do an older X Men. I don't know. I feel like we need to start fresh. We need a new take. We can't just keep riding off nostalgia. I don't know. It's concerning. Ray says probably brought the old guns as the new Avengers don't have the same appeal as the old OG Avengers. I mean, yeah, like it's almost an impossible task. You're not gonna beat Iron Man. Um, Obviously you have Thor there. You're not gonna beat original Captain America. Anthony Mackie's great, but Steve Rogers is the kind of iconic Captain America. Ant-Man is there, fine. You don't have Black Widow there. You don't have who are we missing? I don't. Spider-Man's not even on this list, although I'm guessing he'll be in the movie. That might be a surprise. Maybe not even Tom Hiddleston. I'm blanking on his name. Uh, Spider-Man. We're not gonna get our MCU Spider-Man. I wouldn't be surprised if we get Andrew Garfield. Judging by this list, I wouldn't be surprised if we get another universe Spider-Man, and I feel like Garfield would be up to it. But yeah, there's not a lot of the biggest heavy hitter on this list, and in relation to the old Avengers, is Chris Hemsworth. He's the only big face there connected. I guess Sebastian Stan too, but obviously he's not an title Avenger. Um, Channing Tatum coming back as Gambit is fantastic. He was one of my favorite parts about Deadpool versus Wolverine. I love that accent. I hope they give him a little bit more to do. I mean, he had a good amount to do in Deadpool versus Wolverine, but I want him to have more time instead of just being, with the accent and super jokey. Because I think he was a good Gambit. Then you have Pedro Pascal, obviously, as Mr. Fantastic, and then you have Robert Downey as Doctor Doom. So, besides a couple of the X-Men, the OG X-Men, not a ton of new. Not a ton of stuff that's really surprising here, unfortunately. Um, I don't know if they released anything else. No, I think that's pretty much it. So they basically said it was in production at the end of that video, and then we kind of went on our way. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of this list. Again, I'd love to see a lot of the names here. Really cool. But I feel like we're gonna start hitting a wall on Marvel, and it's like Ray said, if the Fantastic Four doesn't hit, we're in big trouble because that means possibly this movie doesn't work, especially if a lot of it is hooking on to the Fantastic Four, and it's Doomsday, it's Mr. Fantastic's arch rival, Robert Downey's playing Doctor Doom. That's also going to be weird. And how are they going to do that? He's, the other big face and name coming back to this, but not in the Tony Stark role. I don't know. This is going to be weird, guys. This is going to be a weird movie. Um, and then what do you have? What do you have after that? You have Secret Wars. So that's like the end of the multiverse thing, and Doomsday. They have to start teasing Doomsday as soon as possible. Like maybe even in Thunderbolts, they have to start teasing Doomsday, especially because they have all these Thunderbolts in this movie, and they have Fantastic Four. So I think they really need to really get on the ball with bringing in Doomsday as a threat, or else we're gonna get to that movie and we're not gonna feel it, and it's gonna feel rushed. kind of like they did with Thanos. Nothing will ever beat that. That struck time and place that was just gold. And they have to try to get that a little bit with Doctor Doom. We need to feel like something is very wrong. There's a real big threat. And we haven't felt that since Thanos, basically. There's been a lot of smaller threats that have been kind of taken care of um, fairly quickly. But we need to feel real stakes here. We need to feel like everything is on the line in a bigger way than Thanos did. And they have to start doing that quickly. I feel like they've waited too long already um to tease Doctor Doom. Mostly probably because they didn't know what they were gonna do with Doctor Doom yet, and now they have Robert Downey coming back. But I feel like we should have been teasing Doctor Doom since the beginning of this multiverse thing. Um, because now he's coming in at the end of it, essentially. So I don't know. I really feel like they're it's gonna be pretty abrupt. So they got to do something in Thunderbolts, especially because I think that'll get people to go see that movie. They probably should have did something in Captain America too, but that movie didn't do super well anyway, so people wouldn't have seen it. Ray says I'm still not sold on RDJ coming back as Doom. The Tony Stark comparisons are going to be ever present when they are entirely different characters. I agree. I mean, they have to do it right. They have to do something really interesting for this to work. Like they have to play into the fact that he looks like him. Maybe they'll change the way he looks a little bit. Maybe make him a little bigger, a little thinner. I don't know. Doctor Doom should be this imposing figure. So he, RDJ probably needs to get more jacked than he was. I don't know. Maybe than Iron Man. I couldn't really tell from this picture. Um, it looks like they just started filming, but he doesn't look any more like ripped than he was before. So I don't know. I don't know what take they're going with. The Russo brothers, their last movie on Netflix did not hit. That movie with Millie Bobby Brown and I think Chris. Who else was in that? Was Chris Hemsworth in that? I don't remember. But yeah, they gotta really do something with Doctor Doom, unless he's not the main Doctor Doom and he's just like an Elseworlds um, multiverse Doctor Doom, and we're gonna get the proper Pedro Pascal Doctor Doom after this, but it just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, I trust the Russos and the writers know what they're doing, but they something's gotta something's gotta happen sooner. Like we have to feel the weight of this because everybody's gonna be like, huh? Unless they just want to bank on the mystery of Robert Downey Jr. But if it comes out like that weekend that the movie comes out and you don't have all those people coming to the movie, like if you don't have that big rush day one and people the initial reviews start coming out and saying the way they used him is weird and people start making fun of it, and they're in trouble. Like this movie, like it'll make a lot of money still. It'll make a lot of money, but it might it still might not do as well as the previous Avengers. It might not anyway. But if word of mouth comes out and say, oh, like people are at a loss for words about what they did with RDJ as Doctor Doom, then that's a different story. And I hope it's the latter. I want to be shocked and awed by what they're doing um, with Doctor Doom with RDJ. I really think they need to nail this. The Russos have a lot of pressure on their hands, especially coming off a movie that didn't do so well. So I don't know. This list is pretty interesting. I think the whole chair thing was nonsense, but I guess we're talking about it, so it it, it made its point. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Fantastic Four really has to hit. Like it feels like Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, and OG X-Men are like kind of the titular characters of this. They're like the big groups in this. So they really got to figure out like how are they tying in the original X-Men? Or is RDJ the Doctor Doom of their universe? Like are we staying with them as the X-Men going forward? That's See, I just keep getting stuck on this because we had some teases to X-Men, obviously with Channing Tatum in Deadpool versus Wolverine, but to keep going with the Fox era X-Men when you should be in my opinion, you should be introducing the new X-Men. Is it like just we can't get over it? Like we're not going to be able to like deal with somebody else being Professor X? I mean, we did it with James McAvoy, and people liked him as Professor X. Like, are they just not able to find people that could fill those roles? It's concerning and interesting, but I just feel like you're causing more of a problem the more you use these actors who are great actors in these characters when you're trying to set up your next phase of your world. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know what Marvel's doing. And honestly, I haven't loved the last couple movies that have come out. I didn't even feel bothered to watch the new Captain America movie. I'll probably watch it on Disney Plus. I haven't really watched most of the series. I think the last series I watched was Loki season 2, and I love that. But that's still like an OG Marvel or MCU character. So I don't know. Ray says the Thunderbolts are not well known, but are going to be in Doomsday. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, they're riding off. They're the whole group. It looks like is going to be in Doomsday. So what are they doing in Thunderbolts that really brings them that much energy to be in Doomsday? I mean, Florence Pugh's a big star now. Well, David Harbour, sort of from Stranger Things, and I mean, I guess being in Black Widow, I guess, but like, if you didn't watch Black Widow, you won't even know who his character is, right? Was he in anything else? Like, it's strange. It's strange. I mean, I know he was in Stranger Things, but I don't think he's a huge star to be like, oh my god, you know, it's Red Guardian, like in the Avengers. It's weird. It's so weird. I mean, I don't think this is the whole list. I think we are gonna get a Spider-Man in here. I think we are gonna get a Wolverine. Like, you're not gonna put Hugh Jackman in here. You're not gonna put Ryan Reynolds in here. Like, come on. The end of Deadpool versus Wolverine made it seem like they were gonna be hanging out for a little while. So I think you get them in here, and then everybody is in Secret Wars. I think you even get Chris Evans back for Cap in Secret Wars, fighting with Anthony Mackie. And then I think you probably get Robert Downey Jr. back as OG Iron Man, no? Like, I don't know. And I think you just pull from all parts of the multiverse and end this thing out. I don't know. Anyway, I could go on. I could go on and on, but I'm gonna end it there just because we're at 23 minutes, and I just have more questions and concerns than feeling excited. Unfortunately, I don't want to feel this way, um, but I was excited for the prospect of new X-Men, but the fact that we're getting more of the same, I don't know. That's not super exciting for me, but we'll see what happens. Thank you guys for watching. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment if you're watching this on the rerun. We're going to obviously keep up with this story as information comes out. I probably will see Thunderbolts in theaters and do a review for that. It's been a while since I reviewed a Marvel movie, I think. I don't know if I've reviewed one since No Way Home, which is strange. But anyway, I'll leave it there. Thank you guys for watching again, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.